Tonight's show, we're talking about the energy forecast for March, and I'm answering all your questions with live readings coming up right now.
That looks like a Devin or David.
David is his name. It's been so spot on.
And I don't know if you put it in the side of your end table or not. You like to summon your end table. It's too.
My God, we're crazy.
Yeah, I don't know if she's showing me flowers. Like, relay them or redo them. These purple flowers.
Oh my God, Scott, the flowers are right there. My orchids are purple. They completely are dead.
Yeah.
Did you even know? You nailed everything, every single thing. Listen, everyone, this guy.
There needs to be a connection with like a Native American ancestry. And they're showing me a turquoise stone. Yes.
I just went to a Native American dance class and I wore this stone.
Tell me something that he told you that came true.
Everything he's predicted has come true.
I just don't see it.
Who doesn't have cancer?
It's very possible.
Camera's psychic who first questioned Brooke's cancer.
Scott Cruz.
Oh, there you won! You won!
You better question yourself. We're here to bring enlightenment, not confusion.
You might encounter negative aspects of self, but that's a freeing experience.
Because then they start realizing that they can't think outside the box. And I say, if you can't think outside the box, then who's the stupid one here?
We've all co-created this matrix. So if you don't like the matrix, that's you saying that you don't like your own reality, what you're creating for yourself. So we're all equal participants of the creation of this matrix. I don't just come on here and talk repeat. I'm living it.
In harmony with nature.
Happy Thursday night, beautiful souls. Welcome to the Cruisyverse. How's y'all week been? It's been a week. It's been a fucking week, hasn't it? It's been a thing. I feel like this week is the week where all the mirrors are surrounding you, every little bit of it. And I've been saying that too because, we've been in a position to where we have to start looking at our beliefs, looking at our behaviors, looking at all the stuff. And even the irritations, I would say. And we're in eclipse season, February 17th. We had our annual solar eclipse. And then on the 3rd, we have where's my cards? A full lunar eclipse on the 3rd. And Mercury's in retrograde. We have retrograde right now, too. So the energy is chaotic, and my tech has been so all the irritations and breathe. Even so much that ChatGPT, when I was trying to organize something in it and search for things about a program, and it's like I'm like, that's wrong. And it's like, breathe. I'm like, I'm trying to breathe, but everything is going wrong. How can we breathe? So that's the week. That's the thing. So and look at the Tower card pulled. So things are coming crumbling down. Things will be crashing down, and so it is a change. And that's the whole point of this period. So, but to me, I kind of focus on things that that I know are gonna. I would say, during a sense, planting the seeds for when things pick up, and we're going to get into that about the March energy forecast for March, and what February meant, what is meaning, what we're leaning into for March, and all that great stuff too. So we'll kind of keep it very simple. This would be that would be the read and the topic, for this week, and then I'm also going to share my new video for Save the Future. If you all haven't seen it, I posted it. So if you haven't seen it, I'll be playing it after our collective read as well and share that with you before I get into live readings. But before we do, let's see who's chatted Kathy on in the room here. Let's get my overlays up. Me and my overlays. It's already on final thoughts. No, we don't want the final thoughts. And then on that chat, this from last week. And we don't, there we go. We want the welcome sign. The welcome mat. Let's see, just chatted Kathy on the reading. My wonderful Monina is in the room. So if guys, get your questions in. It's going to be a short read this week. So get your questions in now. Otherwise, we'll be shutting it down quickly. So 15 for card pull, 20 for one question, 30 for two questions, 40 for live video. The PayPal and Venmo links are in the description below. But a wonderful Monina will be able to help you and assist if you have any questions about doing so. But get them in now because once we're done and I air the video, we'll do whatever questions are in, and then we're closing it down. So get them on in. All right, Pamela Johnson, good to see you. Thank you. Yes, we're doing well through this mist of irritations. But I have been breathing. I've just been like weathering the storm, even though all the little pins and needles keep coming at once. I'm like, let's manage this well, because I could be edgy. Surprise, surprise. Lydia Jane, good to see you. Sydney Aaron, good to see you. Darby Mayberry, hello, good to see you. Kretsch's Oracle Magic, good to see you as well. Julia Fox, hello, welcome aboard. Sydney Aaron, as we said. Brenda's what? Good to see you as well. Amal Ford, hello. Kristen Valero, good to see you as well too. Kristen, I'm saying Tommy Garasi, good to see you as well. Iggy, can't you see? That was right. The thang. Yeah, that's the thing. That's what we have to say about it. Abby Coe, good to see you. Hey, James Porterfield as well. Yo, Cruciverse fam, hope you're doing well. Wish I could stay the same, but I'm in a bad place. Well, we have to tap into that, James. So we'll have to see what's going on with that. Okay. Patty Kinnaid, good to see you. Hello. And Rhonda, good to see you. And those who are watching, I can only see who's Chatty Cathy on the rooms. I'm just mentioning those who are giving their input out. And I would say February is this kind of reclusive energy, and so. And I have to say, too, there's been a lot of changes with my other show, Leading Out Loud, which I've been doing with Christopher Witecki for about 2 years now. I'm co-creator of the show, and so it's taking a lot of changes. So we used to air every Wednesday night, and all of a sudden, Christopher's like, well, let's air it, but then we won't release it on Serious Joy till Saturday night. I'm like, why Saturday night? And so because it's streaming through Serious Joy, and we're using a Serious Joy employee, I'm like, okay, well, I'll compromise with that because... many of you guys have been noticing he's been habitually late, and I don't want to be lumped in with the lateness and tardiness. And surprisingly, people have been leaving really rude comments to me about it. I'm like, it's a free show, people. Calm it down. And so I decided, well, if it's going to air and be a pre-recorded air, at least it's going to be at the same time. Then people will complain that it's half hour late, 50 minutes late, because I'm sitting here waiting too. So it pisses me off just as much as y'all. So that was a compromise I made. And there's many people who like to watch the show, so I'm not going to compromise, and abandon my show just because y'all don't like me either working Christopher or because of the fact that it's been late. So that was my compromise. And I had one specific comment which I'm going to call out. So if y'all think your comments are so special, well, I'm going to air it out and make it special for you, put it on a platform for y'all. Call me a sellout because I changed the Saturday Night Nights. And I'm like, let me just paint a clear picture for some of you all that don't seem to understand about free content. I spend every day, all day, working with my clients, one-on-one, paid clients. And with that, I'm also hustling and bustling, creating music, creating other content, creating blogs, doing free mentorship, and then I scavenged my time to show up for LOL, for Leading Out Loud, and try to come up with concepts and content for that show, as well as this show, which I don't get paid for. I pay to do it. So when you start complaining about the fact that it's not on time or I'm selling out because I went to another time, let me give you the bigger picture, what's really going on here before I start complaining about your free content, okay? So I'm putting a lot of emphasis into things that I'm not getting paid for, because I want to show up. I want to be free resources for my clients, my paid clients, and those of you who watch and appreciate what we do and get the most out of it. So if I see any more comments like that, you're off the platform. Stay off the platform. I don't need such that energy. I'm thinking to myself, should I say something? I'm like, I want to say something only because I feel like all this passion I put into what I do and the loyalty to hear shit like that is uncalled for me. And I'm at a stage now, I'm going to be calling it out. If you think your opinion is that valuable, I'm going to post it for you and put it in the spotlight for you because you think it's so important anyway. So I just had to really kind of make a point to that because I'm sick of seeing comments of that when I'm so gracious. The amount of free mentorship I give out on my free time when I'm already busy, it's just uncalled for to hear that because of a free streaming show. So LOL is on Saturday nights. You can catch, again, YouTube is one of those things. We don't live on network television anymore. If you miss a live stream, you could just go watch your like TiVo, right? Just go watch the recorded version. Go do that. So I'm like, man, oh man, I give, and I hear this crap. I'm like, sometimes I let it go and roll up, and sometimes like, no, I don't deserve this, and this should not be in our communities, the spiritual communities. It's just ridiculous. So, and yes, I'm loyal to the show because I created. I'm also loyal to the co-host, despite the fact of how patient I've been with my co-host on that show, through his fragmentations and personal chaoses, so that's that. Let's get into the collective read and let's see, and we'll kind of get into the collective read and go on about also what's going on for March, right? What's going on for March? Someone says, yeah, I know exactly, right, Caslo? Again, I say opinions like assholes. Everyone has one, and most of them stink. What's selling out at Moon to Saturday? Because I was still streaming for you guys on Wednesdays, even though he won on Saturdays. I refused to not still stream on Wednesdays. And then after a while, he's like, no, because then people have it there. We want it to be fresh and new. And so, we had talk about that. So I'm like, okay, so we just moved to Saturdays. She's basically saying I sold out because I was still trying to be loyal to those who are coming from Wednesday nights, but they defeated the purpose of having people seeing the content, and he's getting paid subscribers. I don't have a system with paid subscribers, so I'm like, whatever, and actually, David Palmer might be actually returning as a regular, so we'll see with that. A lot of changes for that show, so enjoy it as a record. I will be here live. When I'm not live, I'll let you know ahead of time. Next week I won't be here if I take a week off a month. Sometimes two, depending on the month, but I always will be consistent. I always be at 6:05 sharp for y'all. Okay, it's that simple. So again, that's to me. I have to make sure I make things clear with these types of responses. It's asinine to me. I'm sitting here thinking like, what did I do to deserve that crap? Showing up for free, and it's not even about the money for me. It's about inspiration, inspiring. So all right, let's shuffle these cards. And I got some practicing my preaching. I'm telling you all to stand up, speak your truth. I'm telling you all to call things out, and so it's very important that we do that, right? So let's kind of see. I'm going to do a collective reading, mishmashed in with the forecast for March, and any kind of extra tidbits that the Spirit wants to throw in with that. So let me just shuffle these cards. A lot of good cards are coming out, though. Well, I will say this: a lot of good cards are coming out. I had the Wheel of Fortune card, but I was like going off rambling and on a soapbox. I totally lost the Wheel of Fortune card, but if it comes up, it comes up. Caslo, be a glowing. Yeah. Okay. I got it. Okay, give me a couple seconds. Let me tune in, and we're going to kind of blend the collective read with the forecast. So I'll just kind of like blend it into a nice package there. Okay, give me a couple seconds so I tune in. Okay. Okay, and the music started playing. How many of y'all are waiting for things? How many of y'all are just like waiting? You're like waiting for that next chapter, like that door to open. And I'm not talking about those who've been sitting on your asses. You all probably, those people are somewhere else. That's not you all watching this channel. You all haven't been sitting in your butts. You all have been participating and doing and showing up. And like just waiting, like when does that change? When is that door opening? When is that momentum going to start for me? And I'll let you know, and this is what February was all about. February was about all the mirrors, like I said before, that the house of mirrors, right? And to where we're supposed to look these mirrors and say, okay, what's the irritations? And maybe the irritations is how I've been responding to things that have been maybe withholding my talents, withholding my insights, and also probably maybe persuading my perspective in a way that's counterproductive to the direction I want to be in. So all the mirrors in February is sitting there saying, look at this. Don't move on right now. Look at this, right? It's showing to you because, 2025, as I've been very repetitive about, if you remind, just in case if people are new and just tuning into the message and haven't heard my previous messages, 2025 has been the year of, resolving karmic cycles. A lot of us done this. A lot of us like clear karmic cycles out. We clear our karmic paths, our karmic residue, and we're walking into 2026 like, okay, I feel clear, I feel healed, but I'm still like behaving the same way. I'm still having the same irks. And that's the change we're supposed to be looking at. Those irritations, the things that we're waiting on, find out what we're doing. We have to look deep within inside to be reflective enough to understand what are the little things we do that are probably getting in the way of preventing us from doing that. And it's also supposed to bring up a zeal, right? Because when we have an energy and a passion charge, that really kind of, in the physical world, it really explodes into attraction. It explodes into direction, right? So we need to have a charge. And sometimes what the soul will force you to do is become so angry about something or so zeal and so frustrated, like, oh, I just want this, and boom, it happens, right? My dad used to say, anytime he'll get upset about something, things happen when he gets yells and screams, at the universe, at the world, right? I'm like, can we get to a point where we don't have to yell and scream anymore? Just where we just build enough passion passion to say, this is it, not questioning it. Like, oh, okay, when will I have money? When will I be successful? When will I have a relationship? Like, not when. Say, I will. It's going to happen. And I'm going to make it happen now. Like, so you need to be very determined, because all these things that have been kind of, what I always say, you know where you're standing if you see what's standing around you. And so everything that's in your life that's been kind of functioning around you, even just like responses of people and how people have been treating you and all that stuff, is telling you where you need to bounce out of, where you need to accelerate out of, and accelerate more into based on its opposing polarity, right? The opposite of what it is. So February is kind of this February of this year has been the month to really push us into that idea and to understand what beliefs have I been holding that creates all that around me, and why am I still tolerating this? Why am I still dealing with it? Right. And so that cycle has been going on and going on and going on. And so at some point we have to build that. For some of us will be frustrated and build that power and energy, say no, to put an end, to stop to the momentum so we can start moving forward. And, a lot of guys have been starting to realize you've been tolerating way too much. Tolerating way too much, tolerating too much in your relationships, tolerating too much in poor mentorship. I've seen a lot of people having poor mentors. And the stuff that I'm hearing, I'm like, why are you still consistently going to these people when the mentorship is poor? Why are you still going if you're still getting bad advice from the therapist or bad, interactions with your partner? Why are you still there? And some of y'all might realize nothing's changed because you haven't been participating and showing up to make those changes. This is what February is about. But a lot of people have been kind of forced into this perspective to see what those things are, to make those changes, especially collectively. We're seeing now, like, things are starting to come to light. And so February was kind of the foundation to push us into March with that energy, push us into those realizations, push us into those desires, push us into the zeal, right? And that hunger, the drive, that energy. Right? Those who practice the occult, they don't really look within the soul. They try to harvest any type of negative energy into the external world and use as a power to then manifest or to project what they want and what they need, right? And so, but we don't got to go through all that and blood sacrifices and killing goats and stuff. We don't got to do all that. What we got to do is just harness the power and the passion that we have within to push it forward and to express it outwardly. That's what February is about. Because now when we go into March, and the March 3rd, we have the full eclipse, right? Full solar eclipse on the 3rd. And sorry, let me just lower this for a minute. Full lunar eclipse on the 3rd. Is that what we're saying? Is that where we're going with this? Sorry, because I've lowered the AC a little bit. The 3rd, we had a full lunar eclipse. And so, with this change, there's going to be a lot of push forwards, a lot of pushes, a lot of momentum. Right? And I would say that just like I've been using the book of Revelations in the Bible as kind of a symbol of where we're at, because it's a trial of tribulation before the revelation. And I feel like we've been going through the period of tribulation up to this point, and now March starts the chapter of Revelations, which will last well on to 2027, mid-2027, 2028, and 2029, right? And all to 2030. So this year, this process, this cycle of Revelations is going to be a long one, but it's going to be a very interesting ride of realizations too. So what does that mean of the cycle of revelation? So you're going to start revealing things about yourself you didn't know, or things about yourself that you can do, or even life itself or spirit itself will reveal to you that you're on the right path. Reveal to you the right relationships, the right career paths. It's all going to be revealed. You're going to see the truth of it. If you've been doing the work up to this point, so we said in February, if you've been doing that work, but then it becomes very obvious. It becomes obvious what you really don't like. You might be saying, I've been tolerating this person, but I really don't like them. And then that relationship will be revealed, right? The dynamic of such. If you had a partner, you're like, I don't know if they're being honest or dishonest. That will be revealed come March. All these things will be, it's like the light will be shining on. That's why I got the star card too, which is all about, to me, it's about you being the center of things and kind of shining bright. But also, let's just talk literally, the star card is kind of making things a center of attention in a sense, like a star, right? And shining the light on things, because that's also the moon card to me, is like revealing secrets. But the star card is like, you're the center of it, but it's like revealing things to you that you didn't see before. And you're seeing it now to make changes to move forward. Right? And leaving the past behind in that sense, where you understand that the past is a past chapter. I don't have to have disdain to close the chapter. I can close the chapter and say, well, thanks for that. right? Yeah, it was a shitty relationship, but at least I learned better now. And so, a lot of people get mad that they're wrong about something. Like, be happy that you know now. Let's use the power of the circumstance, and say to ourselves, I might be upset that I didn't know better, but I do now. Isn't that better that I do know now, that I'm grabbing onto more truth? Celebrate that. And so when you celebrate that, then that means that you understand that you're in that process of evolution and expansion, right? And this is what March brings to us, is this movement, right? There's revelations, recalibration, right? And when we do, that's where evolution happens. So if we think about the revelation of the Bible, when you become ascended, right? People get left behind, and that's kind of you rise up. And so, but that's just resurrecting of consciousness and seeing through to pass beyond 3D, 3-dimension reality. So the Epstein styles in our collective, the Epstein files, and we'll drag on, but the truth is coming out little by little, and people are going to have to keep fighting and forcing for this. As I predicted, I said it's going to kind of be a dragged out thing with this Epstein files, and you would think it'd be very straightforward. Oh, it's all written here. That should be, prosecuted. Nope, not in our country. Other countries are doing it, not ours. Oh no, let's just cover more up, right? And so it's going to be a long, drawn out process, and by mid 2027, it's all crumbled down. So, and that's where we become in more control of everything in our own individual lives, because we're no longer bound by these structures, these ideologies, by religion, right? By this dysfunctional government. It's like, why am I paying for a government that is so corrupt? There's of course, there's great people that are still trying to make things happen and work, but as a whole, is it really working for the people? And so a lot of this, we start to see this revelation process in our collective, in our society, in our culture, in our world, in our governments, and so, but what we have to do in these times is saying we can't just damn everything from one side and grab onto the other. And we have to understand there are bits and pieces of truth and goodness spread throughout different sides and different communities and different perspectives. We need to be able to be discerning enough to understand what's going to propel us forward, no matter where it's at and whatever political side it's at. We need to start focusing on the mind and the intellect of a being and the wisdom that a person holds. And if they're going to participate in the growth and evolution for us as a whole too, we need to start revealing those things in our world. And now is time we start need to pay attention to our world. Before I was to say, don't turn on the news, don't watch it, it's negative, it's all this way. There comes a point where we all need to be tuned in and see what's going on and participate what's going on. This is kind of the time for that. And so maybe you tune in once a week just to catch up your speed of what's going on. We all need to be very knowledgeable about what's going on in our world now. Now is not the time to say, I don't turn on the news, I can't watch it. You need to be updated. So whether you read it once a week, get up to speed. Okay, because we all need to participate in the energetic change and energetic shifts that and contribute to the evolution of our species by understanding what we want, what we don't want in the process, and what we will tolerate and not tolerate, and what we also need to project of the changes that we need to be participating in, but also projecting for ourselves too, right? And so, but so a lot of this is again with March is a wonderful change. And so it could be very chaotic in a bad way, but it could be very chaotic in a very good way, because good chaos means you have so much opportunity. Chaos in a good way is like, oh my God, I don't know which person of interest to pick. It's like, I have so much to choose from. That's what March is intended to bring for you. Okay, bring for the collective. Could happen in pieces, could happen slowly, but that's the I would say this the beginning of that cycle of such. Okay, so many of y'all probably waiting, like, I've done all this work, and like, when is my time to shine? It's like, it's coming. And I hate to say it's coming, because I'm like, it's not the manifestation thing. There's a process to things, and there's a process to the energy cycles that we're in, both astrologically, energetically, psychically. And so it's coming because the collective is shifting, and many of the guys who need to shine, the collective isn't quite ready to fit you in yet. It's like if you're trying to get a position, a job somewhere, that position has to open up before you can fill that position. That's kind of what's happening in the collective in the universe too. Your time to shine is shifting. It's in the time of positioning itself to where you're able to find your place, right? And that's where March starts for a lot of you all. For a lot of us, I would say, who've been doing the work. But right now is a pertinent time to remind ourselves of the divine masculine. Okay, what does the divine masculine symbolize? It symbolizes strength. Okay, not that divine feminine isn't strong either, but strength and determination is what divine masculine brings, And divine masculine brings a very determined warrior mentality. Okay, this isn't about boy girl. This is about divine masculine, divine feminine that we all possess. We both possess divine masculine, divine feminine. We need to be leaning more on our divine masculine. And divine masculine is about setting boundaries. Divine masculine is about setting parameters for ourselves to keep ourselves protected and safe, so we can be strong. Right. So that's the divine masculine. We need to lean more on the divine masculine energy right now during this time. Right, and the divine masculine will protect at all costs what is correct. That means getting rid of shitty beliefs. That means you're not protecting your beliefs just because I was raised a Christian, but I have to believe in this. You're not doing that. I have to believe in manifestation because I paid so much in courses for manifestation, so I have to believe in it. It's like, no, it's like you're saying shit's not real, so I'm getting rid of it, right? And so now is the time to say to yourself, I want to be in alignment with truth no matter what foundations I built, whatever I have to take down, because if you keep extending what's false for you, it's going to get worse, right? And more so and accelerating, getting worse because of the fact of that this energy cycle we're in is accelerating. We are accelerating. Y'all want things happen fast, and they're happening quickly. But y'all, this isn't, life isn't about the rub a genie lamp and say, I want something, boom, it's going to happen. Right? This is not what life is about. Life is about evolving you. You evolving. Right? So I think a lot of what's been coming to realization is a hypocrisy of the Christian religion, of Christian nationalists. Now gives a platform to real Christians to come out, right? Which is probably 2% of Christians are the real deal, loving and teaching Christ. And I always ask Christians, I said, if Jesus was president, what would he do? Would he be doing what the current administration is doing? Is that what Jesus be doing? Right? They're all just it's so in contradictory. And so many people who have been bound by religious trauma or bound by religious confinements and restrictions, it's time to break free from that. Break the chains of religion. Okay? And I am not talking about the beautiful, so many beautiful, well, not a lot, but there's quite a few beautiful Christian churches that accept everybody. They don't care, it's all about love and community and fellowship and just, come as you are. And, and that's the real deal, real Christians. But I would say it's probably 10%, and I'm being generous, of real Christians out there. But those of you who have been bound to the religion that's been very segregated, very repressive, it's time to break free of that. It's time to break free of those ideologies. And this current cycle is going to start revealing to you the falsehoods of such. Just like I was saying, the falsehoods of government, the falsehoods of leadership, the falsehoods of politicians, as many of us have known for a long time. But now it's becoming very tangibly obvious now. But we need to be doing is be willing to let that energy go, let those things go, and saying, no, if it's for my better well-being, why would I cling to something that's been causing a lot of disdain, a lot of pressure, a lot of repression in my life, right? Because anything represses itself is the evil, right? Is the opposition of love and growth and evolution. And I saw a meme on Facebook. Someone said, if there's one profession, any profession that would have to not lie, or there would be zero lying, which professions would be the first to go? And everyone put politics and religion. If lying was never a thing at all, which professions would be first to go? And they said lying in religion and politics. Everyone kept saying. And I mean, there's a reason why people say don't ever talk religion and politics, because it's segregative. If people were to talk religion, it should be inclusive. It should be all encompassing if it was right and full of truth, because truth is a positive energy. Positive energy is inclusive, is integrative, it's expansive. That's what positive energy is. It's not about I love you and I'm in my head in the clouds and woohoo love and light bullshit. That's not love energy. That's putting your head in the fucking sand, pretending like everything's okay when it's not. That's avoidance. I'm talking about love energy is inclusive, integrative, progressive energy. That's a scientific term of positive energy. And negative energy is just disconnecting and segregating and separating. That's what negative energy is, breaking apart, segregative, right? So, and sometimes you have to use a negative energy to break off a bad relationship, right? Sometimes you have to do that. So it's not judgmental about positive and negative energy. But when we want to be positive as far as a species, we want to be integrative. We want to be evolving and and we want to be digressing on things. And so we have to really start thinking about what is more aligned with the aspect of love. And that is moving forward and evolving, being more positive and be more integrative. And so this is the point. This is the cycle that we're in. So, and again, I think a lot of this we have to understand that, those who are using the guise of religion, the guise of politics to tell you what's good and what's bad, please use your discernment. Smell the bullshit, okay? Because it's very clear. you know, what people's agendas are and how they're disguising. I would say people who have to prove something obviously don't have it. Those who have it don't have to prove it. Right. And so, but this cycle, again, a lot of people, I've been saying this for the past month now about when March comes about and that cycle begins. A lot of people who've been holding on to these crutches and they realize their crutches are gone. It's going to be very hard for a lot of people. So those of you who've been doing the work, please be there and kind to your brother and sister, so to speak, you know, in spirit, that they're going through a hard time, that they are now crashing because their religion is shown to be false, or their whatever they believe is chosen to be false, or the way they've been perceiving these things are chosen to be false. Be kind to them. Please don't say I told you so. Please don't do that. Right? And let's find a way to progress. Period. Done deal. Right? And that's what the cycle's about, guys. And this is what we need to be focusing on. We need to be a little bit aware about what's going on in our collective world right now, because now is the time. We're on a very exciting timeline right now, where our timeline is about evolving and about ascending. And I'm not talking about the bullshit ascension we hear on TikTok and these fucking people just parroting bullshit who don't know what the fuck they're talking about. I'm talking about actual ascension, where we're actually evolving from really bad patterns collectively from our human species and evolving from it. It's not about, oh, it's the quantum physics of this and this particle and this holographic realm and that's ascension. That's bullshit, folks. Spiritual science bullshit. I'm talking about ascending, about saying we see the patterns of our mistakes of our past, and we're ascending and evolving from them. We're taking the hatred and the judgmental and criticisms that we've had about people and biases and prejudices, and we're evolving from that. Right? This is the ascension that we're talking about. That's what true Yeshua energy is anyway. And so, and Christ wasn't around trying to be worshipped. Yeshua wasn't walking around saying, well, I'm here to create more followers. Yeshua was trying to create more leaders. So all these people, praise Jesus, worship Jesus, a bunch of fucking babbling nonsense idiots. They're not doing anything to help our species. Just sit and wait for God to appear. Like, does that sound rational? We're in a physical world for a reason. So I want you all to participate in any way you can to show that kindness. I don't know if it sounds cliche, but to show that kindness to people and say, you know, I know where you're at. I get it. It's all good. You'll figure it out. We got it. Don't worry about that. And really come together and understand what a community really means. Because we're in the age of Aquarius, guys. Pluto's in Aqua till, I think, you know, another several years, a lot of years, are going to be in this humanitarian phase. And so it's all about this. And if you're resisting this, shit is not going to go well for you. I'm just going to be very honest. If you're finding ways to integrate, finding ways to bring value, you will accelerate during this period of the age of Aquarius, this humanitarian phase. You will accelerate. Things go well. But this whole me energy ain't working anymore. And it's not going to happen. You will not skyrocket if you're coming from that place of me. Because that's crumbling. It started to crumble, but we're still in that phase of that. Because again, sometimes pulling the plug on things doesn't happen overnight with our species. But and so this is the time right now that we start emphasizing all this. And again, I'm very, very overarching about this, because come March, you're gonna start feeling more of that energy cycle beginning in March for this. And so we have to rely on this. And I'm so happy for those who are really speaking up. It's not about fighting at, it's about standing up for. It's not about fighting against, it's standing up for. And that's how you really fight things. Right? And sometimes you have to use some sort of force to push back, but we have to be more clever in how we do this. It's not about Republicans, it's not about Democrats, it's not about all these fucking sides and whatnot. It's about the intellect. And if we start looking through that lens, then yeah, the systems, I've said this back in 2013, these systems are going to crash. The systems will start bending down. The financial systems will have to crash, especially if we have to make room for AI in the positive way. There's a lot of stupid people in charge of AI, but there's a lot of people who are, you know, supporting AI for the way it's going to be best for us as a yin and yang. AI is going to help us to evolve consciously. So we just have to understand where we're at with all this and stop resisting everything. Be open to what our species is really trying to do to evolve. And if you think I've said this before, and I'll say it again, that extraterrestrial life force, in order for them to be at a higher realm, they utilize a lot of technology, which is just frequency and energy. That's what technology is. And so we can master how to utilize frequency and energy and streams of consciousness, then we can evolve even more of our own consciousness. and integrate and let that be a supportive role of density, because that's how I look at AI. AI is supposed to eliminate all this density that we're survival and all this other stuff that we've been so bound to that we're not able to ascend into a higher consciousness because of so much density. That's breaking down. So that in itself is evidence that we're evolving. So AI and technology is helping to take care of that spectrum of density so we can evolve and not be so focused on it and come from our soul expression fully, right? And so this is where we're at, guys. And so, and I think that if we allow ourselves to keep things very simplistic and stay away from the fucking stupid bullshit, faux spiritual, faux pseudoscience bullshit, it doesn't do anything. Do you need to understand what wire is going on in a light bulb to make it turn on to be able to use the light bulb? No, you can just flick it on. It works. I think the technology is great. Cool. If you want to learn about it, fine. But that's not making you more spiritual. It's not making you more enlightened to anything. You're just learning how something works. Okay, and what you want to know is understand how your mind is working, how your brain is working, how your soul is evolving. You want to learn the techniques and the strategy of that. I think everything has been a huge distraction from people really understanding the true power and wisdom from within, that they're focusing on all this quantum physics bullshit that I studied for a long time, and it did nothing for me. The law of attraction, manifestation, faux shit I studied and used to even teach at some point, which is why I'm sitting here today saying it's not what it says it is. That's not how manifestation is and how it works. So let's not get distracted in these rabbit holes of haze and these echo chambers who will be so distracted what we truly need to focus on, which is a lot easier. And there's an easier path to our happiness, and there's an easier path to our strength and power and getting what we want, so to speak, right? There's an easier path than that. All these other freaking things, religion, faux new age spiritual bullshit, and politics, all these are avenues that are the anchors from us to us progressing, when they could be catapults and things that can push us forward, but they're not right now. But we have to change it. And so, so instead of leaving hateful comments and judging people, why don't you start talking about ideas? The stupid people talk about people, and wise people talk about ideas. Let's start talking more about ideas. Okay, if you don't like what someone's saying or doing, talk about the idea of something and discuss an idea. All right, let's be productive now with what we're doing. And so, but that's March. March is going to bring a catapult. So those of you guys who are open to this are going to feel a nice little push, a breeze, a breath of fresh air. I've been saying with February, it's going to feel like it's calm before the storm energy. Not calm before the storm. It's like, some of you might have been slow with work or slow with business and just kind of panicking a little bit and like that. And I've been seeing that a lot with my clients, actually. They've been panicking and things have been slow, and, even people connected to me when they're always busy. I'm like, this is not the time. It's just, let's take a little loop here, reflect, recalibrate. And then when things push forward, then we're in a new light. So when things do get busy, we're in the essence, in the realm of how we want to be in it. So I just seeing Iggy's comment about the Febreze, right? Febreze wanted to phone. So a good storm in March. Well, I mean, I don't know if I'd call March a storm, but I mean, it might be shit storms, because you have to understand there's a polarity with everything that goes on. So, there's a progression. So there could also be a progression of people's beliefs being crumbling down, or people's relationships crumbling down. So for them, if they have not been hearing the callings up to this point, they're going to be forced out of it, like a rug being pulled beneath them, right? So that's on the other side of the spectrum. People who've been resisting change, just been all about I want to get what I want. I want to get what I want. And there's focus on that bullshit, right? Then things just pull beneath them until they learn to focus on what's important, and breaking down those. They're going to be forced to break down these beliefs, forced to break out of things that they've been following that is out of alignment to their own growth, but also the collective growth, right? So for them, it could be a storm for them, but for us, it's like be a windstorm of opportunity for those who've been working on this and been participating in our lives and showing up. Then it could be a good storm for us, a sense of opportunity, connection, right? Creativity, appreciation. Oof, there goes my microphone. Appreciation. So there's gonna be a yin and the yang at all times, and there always will be that yin and yang in that way. But you have to understand, there's a yin and yang there's duality to everything. There's duality to every energy cycle. There's duality to your own characteristics and personality. So you have to ask yourself, what end of the spectrum are you on, and which polarity are you in? And so Like I said before, like every characteristic you have, some people say, oh, I overthink too much. I'm like, there's nothing wrong about being a thinker. That's your characteristic. If you're overthinking about negative shit all the time, disempowering shit all the time, you're not using your thinking characteristic in the right way. But if you say, I think a lot, but you're overthinking about how you can strategize, how you can make time for yourself and do creative endeavors, then your overthinking is working in a very positive, more productive way. Overthinking is not the problem here. It's how you're doing it. Just like people would say, they're so sensitive. I'm like, well, sensitivity is a wonderful thing, but there's, again, a polarity. Are you being so sensitive to where you take everything personally and it's all about you and selfish, or are you sensitive to where you care about others? You're empathetic. You can really hear people and what they're saying on the emotional level, and you're expressive of your emotion. Sensitivity is not the problem. It's how you're using your sensitivity. Please, let's think about things in this way. Let's really start thinking about like how there's a duality. So not everything is just black or white. Everything has both polarities to it, and now it can be experienced on either polarity. How do you wish to experience it? That's on you, right? So these energy cycles, and when we talk about this, the astrology or the psychic currents that I pick up on, how do you want to use this energy? You know? And so that's the key. So me, I'm saving the future. That's what I'm focusing on. I want us to save the future. And saving the future means that we have to think about our future and save it. Not that it's in disarray, but when we think about saving something, we think about standing up and having that zeal and that passion to move forward and to do something and to make change, right? So saving is just more of an emphasis on passion and desire. So, and this is what I do. This is why the only reason why I spend time online. I'm not here for followers and clicks and all that bullshit. I'm here just like, this is my voice. I'm trying to get it out as much as possible. I've been doing my own personal work for 13 years with my clients to, see my clients in this way. But the social media stuff is completely, I pay to do this stuff for y'all, for people, because I feel like that's my way of saving the future. I want to be a catalyst for that, right? I want to be a voice for you all. I want to be a channel for you all to where you feel heard, or you feel like you can reside, resonate, or just where you're hearing other things that are mainstream, then you hear someone who's kind of like throwing something off, right? So it's something different. And so I don't care if it's one people, two people, it doesn't matter. It's just a current and energy I'm putting out. So that's why I do what I do, and that's my my contribution to that. And also staying with my music the right way, doing music how I've always done it. Like I always tell you guys, I want to save music. Those of us artists who play our own instruments, write our own music, edit, mix all my own stuff, right? I want to keep that going. I keep real artistry. As AI builds too. AI is not going to get rid of artistry. It's just going to make people be more hungry for human artistry. And so we're going to not look more about how things are executed, but more how things are expressed. So it's just changing our way of looking at things. So that's the positive end of the spectrum. So, all right, guys, we'll get your questions in now if you want any questions in. Live readings in. And right before I get to live readings and you get questions, I'm actually going to, not premiere because I already premiered it, but I'm going to share with you my Save the Future music video if you haven't seen it. So I'm going to play it right now and take a little break, and then we'll get to the live readings after this. So here's my video for Save the Future that I did myself too. I know it sounds like I'm like patting myself on the back, but this way, if you see anything that's like, it's like, well, he did it all himself, so you can be easy on me.
Try to deny it, stay asleep in the mud.
All right. There you go, guys. So I don't know if you guys have seen that. Some of you have, some have not, but that's my latest and greatest. So, and I'm also today decided to upload some of my older music. I actually should be on Apple Music and Spotify probably within the next few days. But like some of my darker stuff, I'm like, I want to. I haven't put up there because I'm like, it doesn't represent me now. But I'm like, I want to show that period of my life. Right, for people and where I've evolved from. So this morning I just sent my distributor some of my older stuff, my rocky indie, kind of very indie indie rock stuff, fun stuff, good stuff. But like it definitely was a different era, and I put that. So and I also made another album compilation too of past songs, 10 songs as well. So that should be on there as well. And then to Save the Future will be my new era, my new chapter of my new music. So I'm excited to share that with you guys, and I want to blend that. So if you can like go to my music page and comment on the video, share it, put your input. I need the algorithm. I really feel like today I'm not the type of person who thinks like conspiracy, they're holding us back. But today I just saw an artist that had like 5 followers. And it was kind of like hip hop, but like it was different, but it was like rap, but there was like hip hop rap singing type of thing. It was really good. I'm like, this guy has great lyrics, 5 followers, a couple hundred views. I'm like, I started to think, are real artists really being suppressed? Have you been suppressed? I started thinking that. I usually don't think that. I'm like, I haven't really been pushing marketing with my music, and I'm bad at marketing. And I'm like, but is that true? Are we really being suppressed as like real artists? Because this guy has great lyrics, flow, like really good themes and stuff. And I'm like, 5 followers and just a couple hundred views. It was just so weird. And I'm like, something dawned on me. And like, maybe that is the reality. Maybe real artists are being suppressed and have been suppressed, So, and I hate to go that route, but if it is, it is. Right? To think that. I'm not, woe is me. I always know I'm not a marketer. I'm not one that goes out there and I'm like, look at me. I've been doing it more lately. Because I know I have to, but I really haven't. But if you can, go to my music page, Scott Cruz. There's actually a link in this page, and go to Save the Future music video and just like it, share it, or leave comments. I need to get some rhythm going on it so more people can start seeing it and get recommended, because I really want my music to shine. I have some good things under the radar, under my belt that I'm writing to right now. So I'm going to share it with y'all. Okay, so if you can help me, I would greatly appreciate that. And I know this message today, could seem heavy, harsh, but sometimes reality could be heavy, harsh. And it's not so much I want to say, reality is harsh. I'm like, it's harsh, but there's ways that we can soften it. There's ways that we can maneuver with the harshness. There's ways that we can actually maneuver through things and find our strength and power and actually let those harshness push us forward. That's the whole goal, the message today. And calling out what needs to be called out, which a lot of people haven't been doing that for a while, right? So please do that. And Nina, if you can maybe leave a link in the chat or in the comment to do that, Scott's new video. Look at me, I'm thinking about promoting now. I'm marketing. Look at me, huh? So, okay. So we have a question from Danny, and we just have 2, so it's a light day, so no biggie. What did Lindsay said? It's tough. The algorithm is hard to figure out. Yeah, I mean, and I don't even think the algorithm is so much like it's we're trying to, suppress artists. It just might be that they trigger certain things that doesn't welcome like just us underground artists. You know what I mean? In that way. Because I get people who find like, how come I never found you before? How come I never heard you before? How come I and I always feel like my biggest fans are other musicians. I've always had other musicians be my biggest fans. And I'm like, so that at least it validates, okay, it's good. Because I always think, is it just not good? I know everyone has a sound too, but so I think, I figure I'd be humble enough to ask you guys for some like assistance. If you can share and, help get the word out. If you like it. If you don't, then that's cool. If it's not your cup of tea, I understand. Because not everything's everybody's cup of tea either. Right? Anyways, but yeah, and I just think the algorithm thing, I just think they just like tailor to certain things, and then, and then people have to like kind of hack that, and I just don't have the time for all that. So I kind of have to like ask. Anyways, okay, so Danny's question says, what am I missing on getting out of this forsaken city with my son to better land? Currently planning up for summer, I keep getting blocked. Well, no, summer's a good time. You do it too prematurely, Danny. So like May, June is the time, the cycle for you on this. And I also feel like, so it's good. I'm glad you said summer because I'm like, because I probably would have said, I see it around summertime. That's good that you're doing the summertime energy. So like May, June, consider around there because I feel like you're just pushing for it too prematurely. You have to also understand the needs of your son as well. Like he needs a good timing for the move and the shift as well, right? And so yeah, I think that's what it is. And there's also a place that would be perfect for you. Like things have to align, and sometimes things are aligning and shifting for us to be the right timing. And that's usually when Spirit has their hand on things. Our guides, as well as our own soul has our hand on things too. So yeah, just get out of this whole like, energy. Get out of that mode. It's not helping. It's not doing anything. It's like, we're here. We're moving. We're going to be out of here soon. It's all good. Just keep that flow. Sometimes we just have to change the tone of things, and that's simple. It's a simple reminder. There's not I think overly philosophical about that. Just saying, just change the tone. But sometimes just remind yourself to change the tone. And like, yeah, but stop emphasizing. I don't like it. I like it. For godforsaken place. It's like, we're finding. We're getting out of here. We're going. We got it. We're cool. It's the right timing. We got it. Keep that modality going. Because then you can actually understand the timing more and not feeling deprived during the process. You can actually understand, like, it's cool. And then you'll be focused on other things and emphasizing other things. So right now in the back of your head is, I want to get out of here. That godforsaken place. So it's like constantly on a loop, and so you're constantly feeling that energy. It's like, you don't have to. You can be participating in other things, so. But yes, this summertime is definitely the time of finding the right place. I've been saying 2026 is for collectively finding a place, especially I saw summertime, people connect with community of people and all that great stuff too. So definitely with you specifically, that's definitely on the right cycle. Just get out of that energy though, and understand too, like being tuned, like your child also, like they have their timing would be good for them too, so. All right, Sydney says, question from Sydney. I'm ready. I'm excited about having someone in my life. You've been saying this. Can you sense a time frame and if anything needs to be clear to bring him in? Well, I think I told you around summertime too. I think summertime of this year too, for a lot of people. I've been having to cross-check my reads on things because I'm like, I've been seeing a lot of predictions in my individual session, like, oh, by May, June. I'm like, it becomes so repetitive. I'm like, am I even... Like, I have to cross-check and wait a second. Let me tune it again, I keep saying, because I just see a lot of that happening. So, just like we all went into isolation COVID at that one time, and so there's isolation, we do a lot of things collectively too. When it comes to meeting people, community, we come out of the woodwork, come out of hibernation together. So, no, I just think for you, anything to clear on this, Sydney, really... If it takes me a longer time, it's a good thing because I'm like, I don't find anything. I was having a bad hair day today. Just looking at it. Looks like a helmet today. Anyways. No, I there's a little bit of like I just heard haste, energy of haste that just has to go. Get rid of this, I'm going to show him energy. Get rid of that part of it. Maybe he's like, I'm going to show him your ex or something. I'll show him, still in your conscious somewhere. So get rid of this. Like, don't do things out of spite, even though everything else is good. Get rid of the spite energy of spiting somebody. Don't even give that energy to that. That's one thing I would clear. The spite. Helmet hair could be sexist. Y'all confirming I have helmet hair. Thank you. I appreciate it. At least you're honest. At least you're honest. I don't know. It was just like I was just like, I'm going gray here. Like, anyway, I don't know. It looked worse before. I shook it out and it would look them up. Like maybe it should show up like that on there. So, it's not. Let me say the spite thing. It's like, let me understand spite for you, Sydney. Right? Spite is like saying, well, this relationship. I'll give you an example. This relationship treated me like shit, but now a good relationship. So, haha. Like it's just a little bit of like that underneath. It feels right, and this haste of it. you know. And sometimes in spite doesn't mean that you're trying to spite them, but like I'm doing this in spite of this relationship, right? So saying like, you know, I'm going to be happy because, and it's okay to start from there. Now it's just like when we get in spite of something, it's good to get some motivation out of that energy, but then we have to get rid of the spite and say, I'm just ready, you know? So it's just a little bit of that. You asked, so I look deep, so you have to clean a little bit of some of that out. You have been saying? Does that make sense, Sydney? You know what I mean? Yeah. Because spite has different things, you know. You want the motivation to be purely because that you're ready, and I think you are, like I said. But don't let this little, just clean up a little bit. There's still a little residue, just a little residue, okay. And then someone said submit cute animals. I submitted a question. Where did you submit it? Let me just double check PayPal again. Be careful with thundercones. That's an interesting perspective. Okay, yeah, we have questions here on PayPal. So we have Megan and Julie. So next is Megan. Sorry, the PayPal was lagging on my Venmo. For Megan, what career direction or opportunity do you see unfolding for me? Quite vague. Let me see. With just a text. Direction. Well, I'm going to tell you what would be matching with you. I feel like there's one of these. Sometimes I get questions like, "Let me test out if this is going to happen." Then I get questions like, "I don't know what to do. Maybe he'll tell me." Like, so I feel like it's a little bit kind of both, in a sense. But I'm going to kind of see what's going to be kind of aligning with you. I'm trying to. I get an image of something. I'm just trying to make sense of the image I'm getting with this. Yeah, you don't know what the heck you're doing. Megan's like, I don't know what I'm doing. I specifically heard house and home. And a lot of house and home could be expressed in so many ways, but it could also be you going in an opportunity or direction to where it is maybe interior design-ish, or you're helping people with organization-ish, or even working with foods and home-ish. Okay? The house and home energy came with that. So that's what they're saying. So and that could be expressed to somebody, and I think they want to make that house and home kind of open for you to be more I say refined or specific about it for you, right? Because I was seeing you working with people with the house and home energy, and something with this clearing spaces, and you know, so think in that context, and then you'll kind of refine more of what that means as far as the passion and what you want, because there's something about changing the energy with the home space, you know. So like I can kind of say it's interior design, but I can kind of say it's like maybe energy clearing. Then I could kind of say maybe you're helping people with their, you know, house and home organization. So something of that nature, and I feel like that should come about soon. I don't know if you realize this yet, right? So, and that could, you know, be something that happens in the next 2 years, that you evolve into this. Like that's the kind of career change. And then probably maybe before that, maybe you find, you know, jobs of whatever you're doing. But that's something they want you to start thinking in that direction. That's a question more of that career direction is something that really stood out to me. Not so much the opportunity part unfolding. It's more about the direction that they're saying that you have to really kind of be focusing on. So the house and home thing. And I don't know, they're also showing flowers. They kept showing like flowers in the home space and working with flowers too. So this might be something you're not aware of, but you will be. So I would just say, think about that. As a reader, when I look at the future, I would say, since I've been reading professionally for the past 12, 13 years, going on 13 soon, that everyone's like, you're crazy. I would never. One of my long-term clients reminded me, she'd been seeing me for 9 years. She goes, when I first booked you, I saw in the Housewives, and you said that I was moving to Atlanta or whatever. And she goes, and you told me I'm not going to be there long. I'm going to be there for a year, and I'm going to move to South Florida. I'll be happy. And she goes, I thought you were a quack. I said, this guy doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. I just bought a 3,000 square foot home here. There's no way. And so she reminded me, she's like, and of course, within a year, we had to pick up and move to Florida, and I've been happy in Florida. So she's like, I never forgot about that. I'm like, I forgot about that, but I'm not surprised because that always happens. I always get damned by people. Oh, you're crazy. And I'm like, well, if you're asking me about the future because you don't know it, don't get mad about it. Just like, so not that I'm saying, Megan, you're getting mad about this, but just I feel like there's a little bit of a left field here that you might have to start thinking about and the talents that you really do have. And perhaps even the flowers that I'm seeing is something you could do to clean spaces or clean up spaces or do spaces where you actually are doing events, and for the home or something of that nature. So I would think about that, actually. And, so this is Megan. Okay. I work with flowers now and was wondering if I should make a change. Oh, well, there's the flowers. Think about home. Think about like in house and home. I'm glad you confirmed that to me because what I was also looking for is like Better Homes and Gardens energy, So maybe find a way to take the flowers and create spaces, changing spaces. You know what I'm saying? And take that further. I feel like you'll know this soon of what I'm saying. By summer, the summer of love, right? So we keep saying summer, but you get a summer opportunity too. I'll say you get opportunity for summer. You get opportunity for summer. We all get opportunities for summer. So I feel that too. But I think you're on the right track. What you have to do is just find a way to take what you do to do something more helpful to people's spaces, right? I think, and then when you look there, you'd be like, aha, I got the specific. Because Spirit wants you to create more of that. No. So great. And keep us all posted too, right? Keep us all posted. Because we love hearing back. We love seeing what the Cruisyverse is doing. All right. We have another question from Julie. Hi, Scott. I have a strong interest in the healing arts. Do you see this as a future career for me? Thank you. The healing arts. I like how you call it healing arts. That's cute. I don't mean cute to be condescending. I just like how you said that. I thought that was so... I just love doing healing arts. I love that. And when I say cute, it's cute doesn't mean like a little puppy to me. Just it's endearing to me. So I love that. Healing arts. Let me see. Now, an interest means you should always go in a direction, but I just want to see if the interest is because you need it for you or actually something you'll be doing for yourself. So let me just scan that, because sometimes people have an interest because they have to do it for themselves. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You should. But I want you to understand. Yes, I definitely think this is something you should be doing in that space. But just understanding the true definition of healing. Right? The whole days of the Reiki only is over. Not that Reiki's bad. You start Reiki, do that stuff and shifting energy. But understand the depth and where it goes. Of influence. That's what you understand, is the influence is what creates the healing, right? And so yeah, I definitely think that's something you should be doing, but making it very well-rounded for yourself. I would encourage you, because they were showing more so, they're almost giving me image of you really getting really hippie with it. But Age of Aquarius is kind of hippy dippy anyways. We're going to be welcoming hippie energy. So, but people didn't understand the freeness of energy and connecting with source again in that sense. Not in the law of attraction way, but the way of understanding the true essence of spirit. And so I think that if they're showing you doing the sound bathing type of healing, right? Getting people to really tap within. So to even do hypnosis. So I'd also maybe allow yourself to get into more hypnotherapy in conjunction to sound healing. You do something, get licensed with hypnotherapy too, because you'll use that with past life regressions, tapping into the soul, tapping into unresolved karma, really doing on the very core level, right? It's not just this hippy dippy hands-on stuff, but it's really the age of hippiness is really learning about the self now. And so yeah, I would encourage you, you're getting an encouragement to study hypnotherapy, or get licensed or certified in that, I think it's going to open up a lot of doors for you, because they're just showing your whole core is like you're letting people hear their soul, letting people hear them. And whether it be through meditation, because they're also showing like you participating in retreats where, you're helping to administer either transcending meditation, but you're coming at it from a perspective. It's not woo-woo hokey-hokey, but it's like there's a intellectual reason behind it. There's a purpose of the transcending meditation. You're doing it from that perspective. And what is the soul bringing it up? What is the trauma? So you're working with the healing through psychological and soul trauma, right? So that's what they're saying. So yes, Julie, that was for Julie in case we missed the name. Yes, think about that. And they're encouraging hypnotherapy and using that as a way to like past life regression, all that great stuff. So yeah, and let me just double check if that's it. Before we close Jeffrey. And I just opened up March bookings. So get your March bookings in. And those of you who are just watching, of course, these questions are very short questions. We get very in depth through our readings with our my one-on-ones get very in depth, and can go dive into everything. So ScottCruisePM.com. I'll run the commercial at the end. But yes, March bookings are open. I just sent out the email this morning. Gosh, I've been doing so much between the editing of that video, posting the video, doing my emails for my marketing emails for my work, and then LOL, and I'm just like forgetting what am I doing. I'm just gonna have to like not do anything because I'm already like another song I'm doing, and so. But yeah, get your March bookings in. I want to talk with you. Let's get this going. And yeah, so my final thoughts is we have to understand like how we can maneuver around the harshness. We don't have to run away from it. We don't have to like overly amplify it, hate it. We can just say, this is a little like tense right now. This is a little harsh for me. Let's kind of like, let's change the tone. And I think, again, especially I was saying this in another question that, we have to start asking ourselves, in what tone am I approaching this with? What tone am I reveling in? What's the tone? Because you could change the tone. You could change your response. And I have to say this too, because, I had an issue because I'm a Puerto Rican Italian from New York. I was very blunt, direct, edgy. That's where how I was raised. You're just kind of vocal and loud and just like passionate about every little thing. And so you become into another environment where I'm dating a Midwesterner where it's like, whoa, and like being close to that could be like for somebody else, like really the tone could be very misperceived. But then I realized that, even, and of course I made those changes, but I realized that through my own hang-ups because of the sexual abuse I went through, the trauma conversion therapy, the suicide ideation, all that stuff I went through, that it put a little chip on my shoulder, and it was bleeding through my Puerto Rican Italian East Coast New York energy, right? And it was bleeding through. And so I started, asking myself, people, certain people like thought it was cute and always feisty, but then certain people were just like, the tone was too much for them. And so I started to focus on my tone, like, where am I coming from? And sometimes like, yeah, I was cute to be edgy, but then I'm like, sometimes the tone was bleeding through to where it was some of my past traumas coming to the surface. It was that chip on my shoulder, which was misconveying certain things that I was saying in my relationships. Right. And so I had to look at that. And I'm like, and then I just understand like, okay, well, I first have to heal that. And then I just also want to be perceptive of tone. How I'm approaching things. We can get frustrated. We can get irritable and irritated about certain things. That's okay. And it's going to happen. But how you going to approach that? So which tone are you going to push that forward in? Are you going to keep it in that frustration, or are you just going to curb it and say, okay, let's change the tone on it now. Let's like put a little button on this. Right. And I really feel like we need to be very aware of this now. With our conversations, with our interactions, when you feel like you need to comment on something, like I get this opinion out, like no one cares about your opinion. Sorry. You just like a little fly, you're just irritating with your opinion. So, ask yourself, is it productive? What is the tone? What people appreciate is your appreciations. What people appreciate is your constructive feedback on things, right? That's what people care about. Motivation. And then most people care about you too. I mean, how you're feeling and what you're going through, at least I do. So, ask yourself these questions about your tone and start being aware of that. And the tone also just means like, what is the tone of like how you see things? Is it tone of relationships? Oh, there's so much work. Is that the tone you have with relationships? Is that you keep setting? And then, but then you want one, but then if you have that tone with it, then no one's going to be attracted to that tone, right? That frequency, the energy that you're in with it, right? So think about that, guys, because you want to celebrate the breaking down of structures within yourself and within your subconscious that is not serving you. You want to come to light and you want to say, yes, let's get rid of it. And if you're on board with that for March, you're going to start seeing a lot of doors open up, a lot of opportunities opening up. And I feel like a lot of us are on board with that. A lot of us are seeing this now. Majority of people are. You know, they're not making excuses of why they can't do things, not laying in bed, just complaining about things and like, you know, they're actually going to do something productive. And something productive just means that perhaps you just have to talk yourself down off that ledge. So perhaps you just say to yourself, look, what is true? I just want to focus on what is true for me and what is just true overall. And let me just free myself of these burdens of restrictions. It could be that's being productive, just getting yourself to say that. But it's got to start somewhere. And be free with the chains. Be free. Don't beat yourself up because you didn't know. Don't beat yourself up because you've been holding something. Don't beat yourself up. We all are figuring shit out here. The point is you want to make sure you do. And if you do, celebrate it. All right? Anyways, I appreciate every single one of you guys. You're all amazing. Okay. And please, if you can, go comment on my Save the Future video, like it, share it. If you do like it, if it's something you want to share to people and to bring more attention to and eyes on my music, that's the best I could do is ask for that. If you can, I'd appreciate it. And I'm not sure if I'm going to take off next week. I might take off next week. Let me look at my calendar here because I already did a March forecast. I'm running out of topics. Especially when I'm being overly creative, I'm like, oh gosh, my bandwidth of creation is like, what do I do here? You know, so it's have to come up things. But it's the 5th of March. We'll probably need the 12th, and we'll definitely need me on the 26th. Yeah, I'm going to take off. I feel like I'm going to take off the 5th. I feel like I'm going to be needed on the 12th, the 19th, and the 26th. So I'm going to take off on the 5th. So next week we'll take off, but we'll still have LOL, Leading Out Loud, on Saturday. So Saturday's episode, Wednesday, we shot Wednesday, will be Saturday, streamed on my platform in Serious Joys. And then that following week we'll probably have David Palmer on again. I think we're going to be a trio is going to be oh yeah, Psychic Game Night. Yes, we'll do Psychic Game Night on the 12th. We'll do another Psychic Game Night on the 12th. So next Thursday off, and I'll prepare for Psychic Game Night on the 12th. Okay? Thank you, Abby, for reminding me of that. Because I'm like, I want to do that once a month, the Psychic Game Night. So, yeah, we'll do that. All right? 12, yeah, do 12th, 19th, right. So, Iggy, is that correct? It's good to take off the 5th? Because my psychic vibe is like the 5th is good to take off, and then we need the 12th and 19th. Is that right? Skip the 26th? What about the 5th? Should I skip the 5th? I'll text you about that. Anyways, guys, I love you all. Remember, you are all... What's my commercial? Do I have it on it? Give me a sec. There it is. Take 5th off. Okay, good. See, my psychic ability... I love working with astrologers because I'll read something, they confirm with the astrology. I'm like, I love that my astrology confirms the psychic awareness. Awesome. All right, guys, so I'll see you the 12th for Psychic Game Night. And yeah, and check out the episode of Living Out Loud. And I'll see you then. Any questions? You guys know how to get a hold of me. ScottCruzPM.com for March bookings. I'm running the commercial now. And remember, guys, you're all the gods and goddesses of your own myth. What do you want to create? Much love. I love you all, guys. See you in a few weeks. Love you.
Scott Cruz is popularly known for his life-changing one-on-one readings to also guide in your soul ascension journey. With life readings, get insight into your relationships, career, health, trauma healings, past life regressions, and more. Want to connect with a loved one who's transitioned? Scott's mediumship session can be the gateway to you and your loved ones in spirit bridging the gap between the physical and the spiritual realm. If you want to enhance your own psychic ability, Scott's Intuition Builder session can help expand your psychic and mediumship abilities. So sign on to ScottCruzPM.com to book your own personal session today.